Let's talk about it. What is going on, guys? Joey Suggs here. Welcome to a new video. Welcome to a laid back Q&A one-on-one conversation. So I put up questions on my Instagram story. Could be anything from personal stuff, road to rip stuff, everything in between. And also put a post up on YouTube just with any questions you want me to go through and answer for you guys. We got a lot of responses. Make sure you're following me on Instagram because that's the responses I'm gonna go to first. But regardless, let's hop in. So first question is, I know you have some upper shoulder pain. Have you tried Smith machine incline press to work your upper chest? And honestly, yes, one of my favorite upper chest exercises, but you have to have a good Smith machine. Almost all the gyms that I'm working out at right now just don't have that good of a Smith machine, and also it takes forever to line up your bench perfectly to where you're coming down. Because it's a Smith machine, you don't have that variance, right, to be able to press. When you get it right, some of the best upper chest pumps you can have, but you got to spend the time to get it right. And I just haven't spent the time with these Smith machines at my gyms that I'm going to right now to get that perfectly dialed in yet. Funniest comment I've ever gotten, I don't know, there's been some really good ones, some ones that have made me laugh good, but I think the funniest ones to me is where someone says something in the comments just like kind of trolly or kind of like shitting on something that I'm doing, and then everyone else just gangs up on them and attacks them left, right, and center. There'll be like 7-8 responses on this one person. It's nice because that way I don't have to do it, and I try not to like get involved with that stuff, but those are probably the best comments I've seen. Who do I follow for motivation? I watch a ton of YouTube. Not all fitness content, but a lot of it is. And I mean, right now that Christian Guzman is back doing YouTube and doing summer shredding, I watch every single one of his uploads. Glenn Gillen just finished a really nice prep series. He looks insane right now. Marco Jacked Italian just finished up his prep series. He looks absolutely insane. My boy GC always putting out great content, but yeah, not exclusively fitness content, but I do watch a lot of YouTube, and it's nice to get motivation from other people on YouTube as well. What's your biggest struggle when it comes to dieting? Mine has to be the mental fatigue that then leads to the binge eating. It's not as bad, I think, or at least I don't have it as bad as some other people that I've heard online talk about, but it does just get frustrating that I feel like sometimes I can't control myself, and that's an excuse because I know damn well that I can. But yeah, it sucks to like come home after a super long day, you're super tired, but you're also extremely hungry, and you get to have some ground turkey with some lettuce and some mustard over top. It's not always the most satisfying meal, right? But I think kind of how I save myself from that is once I'm able to start seeing results, I want more. I'm always wanting more results, and because of that, I think that drives me to just stay away. And another thing, out of sight, out of mind. If I don't see the like almond butters and peanut butters, and it's mostly nut butters that get me, to be honest. If I don't see them, it's a lot easier for me not to think about eating them. I get a ton of comments asking me about this right here up on the wall. I don't even know if I'm allowed to talk about it on YouTube, but it's a Daniel Defense DD-M4 V7 lightweight. It's a beautiful machine. I don't have hardly any time to shoot it, but it does make for a pretty nice wall decoration for the time being. What's a guilty pleasure movie that isn't popular or that you'd be embarrassed people knew you? The only movie that I think I've like gone crazy for was when I was like 11 or 12 years old, right? And Starsky and Hutch, phenomenal movie. Ben Stiller, Owen Wilson, Snoop Dogg as well. I think I watched that movie consecutively over a weekend 11 times. Don't ask me why, but it was just like the funniest, like coolest movie to me at the time. I don't even know when it came out now that I'm thinking about it, but it was just such a like iconic movie, at least for me, from my childhood. and there's really no explaining why, and it's kind of embarrassing that I watched it that many times in repetition. Okay, we gotta talk about this. Almost the majority of the comments wanted me to touch on steroid use or the Anavar cycle that I took earlier in Road to Ripped. My thoughts on it, my opinions on it, and they are purely just opinions. Did it help me out? Yeah, I would say it had a marginal effect on how I felt and held muscle, and was able to kind of get a little leaner, a little quicker than maybe I would have without it. Did I have any side effects? Not a single one. I felt incredible the entire time I was taking it. I've been off of it for over a month now. I still feel great, just with a little bit of PCT. I'm not gonna go over exactly what I was taking. I just don't feel like that's my place on this platform to explain all of that to you guys, and I'm not the person you would want to be listening to anyways, trust me. But would I do it again? Marginal benefits, no side effects. It's very slight, I think, the difference that it made, but I was really taking it to, one, help with the Road to Ripped, and two, just dip my toes in and kind of just see what it would be like taking something that's non-natural. And overall, a little lackluster in my opinion, but it's not like it didn't do anything. So you have to make that decision on your own, whether it's worth it or not. But for me, I'm just gonna give it a little more time and come to a conclusion, maybe next Road to Ripped. I definitely will say I should have waited to take it till the end of Road to Ripped, now that I'm in a little more difficult of a cutting period. So that's something to note later on. And maybe I should have taken it with a test base, and we can talk back and forth with that, my doctor and I, but that might be something I look into later on. But as of right now, I feel really good. I'm not really that drained and fatigued, and that's saying a lot considering the cardio and calories I'm consuming and everything like that. So overall, I'm happy as of right now. Okay, top 3 vitamins, minerals, supplements. This person likes zinc, magnesium, and vitamin D3. I actually take the Transparent Labs sleep aid that has zinc and magnesium in it, as well as some melatonin and some other things that help you get really nice sleep. I don't take it all the time. I take melatonin every night. I don't take that all the time, but I do really like that product. My 3 top supplements, one has got to be creatine. You do notice a difference, and when you're taking a good product of creatine, a pure form of it, you notice even more of a difference. With, I would say that, I really like taking ashwagandha. I've been taking it every day for probably 6 months now, and I do feel a noticeable difference. And then the nootropics. I don't take it anymore, but I feel like it almost cured a little bit of continuous brain fog that I was having, where I just get out of bed, feel groggy for the first 3 hours of the day, and nothing really clicked mentally. But I started taking the Transparent Labs nootropics. They may be all the same, I don't know. But as I took it, I did notice myself waking up and feeling more productive, more ready to work about 30 minutes after I took it. It also has a little bit of caffeine in it too, so I think that might help. But overall, those 3 products, very, very solid. Favorite retro game? Well, this isn't really a retro game because me and Perry have been playing Mario, but my favorite game growing up as a kid was the original Borderlands. If you guys haven't played that game, it's honestly still a fun game today. I think I played it maybe 2 years ago, but just the level of creativity in the game is unreal. It's kind of edgy too, some funny jokes and stuff. It's a really, really, really well done game. The franchise now is maybe a little too expanded. I haven't played it in the new games, but the original Borderlands, one of the best games of all time, I think. This person says, I'd like to see young Joey and the story of how you got ripped. I did a video on this a couple years back now, I think. But it kind of was my life story. I'll try and throw up some pictures. But I grew up the majority of my life as an overweight kid. Not to the point where I didn't have friends. I was so obese I got picked on all the time, but it was definitely a subject of like conflict in my growing up, where people would be like, oh, Fat Joe was my nickname for a long time. Joey Bag of Donuts was another one. So just like very food and fat oriented names. And it's not that it really got to me all that much, but I think once I was able to start learning how to lift and kind of fell in love with that and realized, oh, I actually genetically am pretty good at putting on size. I just fell in love with it. And from that point, it was just all about how lean can I get, how shredded can I get. And then fell off a little bit in college, obviously, because I wanted to party. But towards the end, got back on track, and kind of how the YouTube channel started today. I'll actually link that video down below. It's like a 4-minute video, but kind of like an idea of how it all started. Do I golf? Yes, I am not good at all. I'm actually terrible. All my drives slice to the right. My irons are okay if I make contact with the ball. I do it mostly for work though. I'm not like someone who goes and plays every weekend. I don't have time because I'm filming videos, but playing 9 holes is really fun. Playing 18 just is kind of brutal to me sometimes. But yeah, I do play. I do enjoy the sport. And I think if I had a little more time in my hands to like go play on a weekday, it would be kind of nice to get into it a little more. This one I've touched on a little bit before. What do you do after a cheat day? How do you get back on track? Like I said, I talked about it a little bit already, but you just get back on track. You get back right exactly where your calories were, get right back on your cardio. And over the next like probably 3 or 4 days, it sucks that it takes that long and you did set yourself back about that long, but doing it that way, you're not yo-yo dieting, which will 1, destroy your metabolism, and 2, just destroy you mentally and physically. Don't do that. Just get back on track. It's gonna take a couple of days, but eventually you'll level back out. And sometimes after a good cheat day, you'll actually dip a little lower in. But it's not the end of the world. Just get right back on track. This is a good question. So what do I currently do for recovery? Not as much as I want to. I would love to be going in an infrared sauna every day, but I'm not always training at Crunch, which is the only place around me that has the infrared sauna. And with the cardio, it's just tough to be in a gym for almost 3 hours. But 1, going in the sauna as much as possible, that makes a huge difference. And then during my lunch breaks at work throughout the week, I do spend about 15 minutes or so stretching out and doing like wall stretches and stretching out my quads, my knees, and doing like a little bit of walking and cardio. And that kind of is my recovery. It's not great, it's not ideal, and I could be doing a hell of a lot more. But I don't have any serious injuries right now besides the little shoulder niggle, but we're working through it slowly. And speaking of work, what's your full-time job? Do you have any plans or dreams of quitting for full-time social media? It's a complicated question and a complicated answer. So I work for Allstate Steel Company. We're a structural steel fabricator, and we also do erection, subbing that out. We build some incredible, beautiful buildings, mostly here in Jacksonville. We do travel pretty far as well. But that said, 1, it's a great job. 2, it's my family's business. My grandpa started it in 1953. And in a couple years, hopefully I'll be running the whole thing. So do I want to quit my job for social media? It would give me more flexibility and freedom to upload maybe a little better content or a little more frequent content. But it's tough to leave a family legacy behind like that. And I'm not sure it's what I want to do. I think as I grow a little bit more, 1, with social media, and 2, within the business, I'm gonna be able to delegate my time a little bit better and hopefully create the best of both worlds there. But if it comes to it, I really do like the flexibility I have with the social media job, that I can do this from literally anywhere in the world. Also, 2 paychecks is pretty nice as well. Favorite cutting dessert besides the Kodiak cakes? I got a couple. I mean, desserts are literally my favorite part of any day, even when I'm not cutting, but I got a couple, okay? The no-bake cheesecake that was in episode 16, I think, of Road to Ribbed. That is really, really good if you sprinkle some stuff in there, even just if it's chocolate chips. 2, the Ninja Creamies. Having a full pint of ice cream is really awesome for like 200, 300 calories. That is sick. But also, enlightened ice cream. I've been having a lot of recently, and I have like half the pint for 200 calories because they're about 400 calories a pint. And it's really, really good ice cream too. So those couple things is what's been kind of keeping me away from just like slamming and a bunch of rice cakes with almond butter all over them. And it's been working out pretty well for the past couple weeks. This one I flip-flop on, morning or evening workouts. So I think I've kind of figured it out. I think once the time change hits and it gets brighter earlier in the day, like earlier in the morning, I like working out in the morning because I don't like leaving the gym at night when it's dark out. And I don't like going to the gym and leaving the gym in the morning when the sun hasn't even come up yet. So I still do both of them, but typically summertime I work out in the evenings, and in wintertime I work out in the mornings. All right, how long have I been training for? Do I have some photos of videos beginning of training? I'll try and find some decent ones of me training, but it's been since about 15 or 16, so 13, 14 years. Not all of it super consistent. I would say the past like 6 years have been very consistent, like every single day almost, or 5 days a week. But I also built a really nice base from training for about 5 years, very hard in high school as well. So all around, yeah, it's been a long time, and I've definitely gone through my ups and downs and motivated and non-motivated. But for the past couple of years, I've definitely been building the physique, staying consistent, and the results are actually showing off a little bit. So that is going to wrap up the Q&A. I had a pretty good time. I hope you did as well. I hope I answered your question if you left one. And I'm gonna be doing another one probably around the 50K subscribers mark. So check it out right now. Am I under 50K? If I am, smash the thumbs up button. Subscribe to the channel and be on the lookout for a little Instagram story or post when I get close, because 50K is a pretty big moment and I want to share it with you guys. As always, hope you guys did enjoy the video. Appreciate all the love and support, and I'll see you guys shortly in the next one. Peace.